Hello and welcome to another Hearts podcast episode. This is the finale, series 3, episode 7, Freedom, season finale of season 3. Hello to all of my listeners, to those who do listen to this episode. It is really important that this does get listened to because half the time I am talking to a wall, and that's not healthy because I overthink and I'm like, why do I bother? I have so many stories that I want to share as well, and I want to create memories with you. But in order to go on with working to verification, I need to go on brainstorming ideas so that I can ensure myself and all of you that my content creation will go on. On the 28th of October 2025, I begin part 2 of making my withdrawal from my family legal. Now that we are doing everything correctly. Bitch, fake, I hate you, I'm sick of you, cheated on, physical abuse twice, sexual abuse, manipulation, aggression, false accusations, what's going on, what's happening to me. Popularity, that's what. And I've experienced all sides to that. Many of you may have also experienced some of the things that I have as well. I think I'm old enough now to not only understand, but to know what is the truth now, and I can finally share my side of the story. I'll explain everything from my side of the story, as we need to remember that there is two sides to every story, and whilst there is two sides of every story, we need to remember that this is what happened to me. And I'm going to try my best to explain everything. In 2022, I started to have early signs of the withdrawal, but back then I was doing everything incorrectly. So unfortunately, I still had my parents' name. There was just something about both my parents that felt like handcuffs, tied down to the fact that we both shared relations. But all the signs to what kind of person my mother was is there. I have been in hospital many times, and there were times where I needed her most, but she always had an excuse not to be there. I had my first girlfriend's relationship, and I took an overdose with some tablets as I wanted to end things, but I survived. She did not come to this, and she claimed that this behavior was copied and attention-seeking. I was really shocked with that response, to the point where that was when I did not see my mother actually care for me. The scar on my arm was a reminder to me that love can be brutal, and I'll never forget it. I took a whole month to recover from my first partner. I'm a Pisces, you know. We make really good partners, passionate, romantic. We try our best to work things out. No, I do not mind being called bitch. Dana and I used to call each other that years ago. Dana is my college IRL friend. We've known each other since 2016, so yeah, at least 10 years. That's a total of 10 years we've known each other. I'm very sorry about this, but there's a reason to why I am very picky with who I'm friends with. Because I have been manipulated, deceived, and abused by so many, I am finding it hard to trust people, regardless of being popular. But it's not about popularity at all. I'm sad to say that even I have enemies and stalkers who track my every move, so I'm finding it very hard to achieve with my social circles. To be active in my social circles, sorry. And there's a chance, unless I continue to work hard at it, but there is a chance that I can die of a broken heart. I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes I wish I was never born. Because then that meant that I had to go out about my way and give this life a purpose. So this person you are listening to is a broken person, scared of betrayal, loss. And after finding out my true nature of being an empath in 2022 also, I discovered I had so much more to give. Not only that, but finding out the truth about my family. I got called fake by an old friend online, by her parent. She did not understand that I was friends with her daughter. And it's like, who are you to judge on how we became friends? I hate you. A former housemate of mine did say that to me, and I have never experienced that in my life, because all I was doing was taking back what was mine, and she never cleaned up after herself, which meant I had to do all the work. I'm sick of you. A carer actually said that to me, because I did not follow her rules and did what I wanted to do. There was no tenancy or anything, so she couldn't make me. She expected me to spend time with her grandchildren, and I was like, no. When I moved to my Garland support house, she came with me, only to see where I was going to live. Cheated on? Yes, I have been cheated on, and I know exactly how it feels. Apparently, I did it to Tom, my first boyfriend, but that's not true at all. Physical abuse twice. Both my father and my stepfather abused me physically. Were about to try and get me to stop things. Did it work at all? I do not know, but you can understand to why no belts are allowed in my houses. I do not care if it is fashion. My father's response was, did I scar you? And I'm like, yes, mentally. But if it was physical scar, I think he'd care more about it. My stepdad had to ask my mother for permission to hit me, and then she actually said yes to that. I will never forgive her for that. When I stopped contact with her, she didn't respect my boundaries and still went ahead to email me. I was kind enough to give her my new email, but perhaps I shouldn't have. Then she makes things worse and asks Lauren, my care coordinator, how I'm doing all the time. It's almost as if she doesn't care about my boundaries. But that's not the worst part of things. When I did live with my parents, they thought it was funny to put whipped cream on my hands while I was sleeping to get me to touch my face with it. I can't remember all of it, but I wasn't sure if I heard laughter, which kind of gave it away a little. But I did not appreciate that at all, and ever since then, I would make it my duty to avoid pranks. So as some of you may notice, if you do, I do not come online on April Fool's Day to avoid being a target. I do generally hate the fact that that day exists. So now you understand why I have cut off my family. Just recently, I decided to delete my Facebook. I kept being blocked by random people, and random people kept trying to add me. For those I have exchanged numbers with, should be very thrilled still to have me as a contact. I'm also trying to minimize my time on social media, and from today, the only social media I have is Twitch and Discord and WhatsApp for my IRL. Now that I have less of a chance of any family member stalking me and other IRL friends, and if they were really that bothered, then they would have exchanged numbers or addresses with me. Sexual abuse. This is going to be really hard to talk about, but yes, I have been a victim of sexual abuse when I was just 11 years old. So if you have been through it yourself, know that I completely understand what you are going through and will support you 100% in this. I have deleted the mental health channel because I want you to learn to manage your mental health, not intending to be harsh at all here, just trying to help. You can always reach out in a DM if you want to, but never manipulate or try and bully us with your personal attacks, as it is not a healthy approach. Manipulation. I too have been a victim of this, and I still am to this day, ranging from all my kindness to my empathy. I am still learning the signs of manipulation. Aggression. Remember all those voices I heard? Well, it ranged from the celebrities when I was following them and the chavs that still stalk me to this day. But throughout the suffering of hearing the voices, I learned that the celebrities were doing aggression. One celebrity said they did not love me and told me to piss off, which I think is not nice at all, and I don't understand why she feels that way when I've done nothing but to support her. Maybe I can see why not very many people want to spend time with her or include her in selfies, you know? And if they do, then maybe I am wrong. But here's a question. Why is a famous person worried about their popularity? It makes no sense at all. A member of the royal family also performed sexual things towards me, which was their way of showing aggression. I couldn't explain things even if I tried, but all I can say is I felt things. So I know I'm not crazy or delusional, I am just being manipulated. False accusations. Twice I have been accused for hurting animals, which is not true as I wouldn't dream of hurting animals. At least not on purpose, because we all make mistakes. What's going on? What's happening to me? Well, all of it is linked to popularity, I'm afraid. And it's not right. Popularity shouldn't be any of those things. During this supportive accommodation that I live currently, I am going to work on replacing all of my certificates. And the one thing that's going to take the longest to replace is my birth certificate because I am South African born. To understand what's happened through me, I had a rage episode. This was back in 2022, before I thought of the withdrawal and before everything made sense. Back then I didn't want to exist, and I wanted to erase me. I hated the fact that I was born, and it took me ages to realize that a withdrawal would be my answer to fix things. I feel like my life resembles a lot to the 80s Labyrinth movie because I'm Sarah and everyone else is a goblin. I only watch that movie when I feel I need personal comfort from things that have happened to me in my life. So yes, I've had my fair share of traumas. So now you understand why I do certain things. I wasn't pleased about it, but I was called delusional by 2 idiot doctors. But maybe I wasn't practicing online safety as I thought I was. So to do so, I unfollowed and unsubscribed all of the unverified celebrities. They only saw the follow/subscription as quotations love. And they honestly do not care for you as a person. But if they would follow you, because if they did, they would follow you. But they won't because you are not verified. Yet I've had a browse of all their, out of curiosity, on all the celebrities' accounts and looked at who they followed and saw that they were following a few non-verified users and they were very selective. What I was trying to do was include everyone, regardless of verification, equally because I didn't want a badge to label us as different. I then took on board with what the doctors said and only kept my followed accounts to the things that I practice like Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and Spotify for creators. But then one day, my partner's Instagram got hacked and deleted, both her work and personal one, which she worked 4 years on, nothing but love. With that happening, I called her on Discord to get her attention and see if everything was alright, because I was of course concerned. But thankfully she is okay, and she doesn't want another Instagram, probably in fear of it being hacked again. In regards to her Instagram being hacked and deleted, it's pretty obvious that someone doesn't want her to succeed, and she was doing really well by reaching 1,000 followers, and I have the feeling that it may have been a hate crime of LGBTQIA. Whilst everyone is entitled to their beliefs, we do not have to respond to or surround ourselves with homophobia. We will go where our love can be supported, and England is an LGBTQIA-friendly country despite recent threats to trans rights in medical care, which I will protest against because I am a part of LGBTQIA+. And I am telling you all of this because I want to be able to share with you what I've been through, all of my adventures, my stories, and maybe even awareness. I want the Hearts podcast to be nothing but love, even though I sometimes talk about the heavy. I want to see this podcast reach a lot of episodes, hundreds, thousands. I will never stop because this is my safe space to talk about things as I am the creator. After sharing this, I'm sure you can understand a few things. 1. From the 30th of October 2025 this year, I have decided to stop being the one to DM you first, and this goes to all of my friends on all my social media platforms. Nothing is wrong. I am content with my popularity now. I am just not going to be the one that always makes an effort, you know? I want you guys to start trying now. 2. With my empathy as a guide, I do a lot of teachings. One of the things is even though I can detect a liar, I do not point fingers and say you're lying, then dramatically end things. The way I work is to try and earn your trust, so I can get to the bottom of things and work with you to bring your confidence and give you the little push that you may need. This way it's more healthier and maybe you can overcome some things that might be in your way. Does this make sense? With David, it was different. I felt very pressured into being in a relationship with him to eventually have a child I did not want. And the biggest thing you could ever do is lie about being in hospital, and that's exactly what he did. I want everyone to know this because I felt hopeless. I want to be in more ways than one for my partners, even if it means being in hospital with them. But it did not stop there with him. It was with him that I decided, you know what? And there is no shame with this, but I'm going to be gay now. I never told him that because I did not want him to find out. And it gets worse. A member who used to be friends with me messaged me on Twitch to say that David is saying I cheated on him, and apparently that's what people say when they've just been dumped. I decided to add him and fought my corner. It was about to get so much worse when he decided to attempt killing himself. And I'm like, wow, this is so manipulation, and I can see why he is single. Cheating is not in my nature, I could tell you that now. And I'm not comfortable with this, but a couple of my members wanted me to phone the police to stop him. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. So they did it thankfully, and he got sent to his sisters, or they would have sent him to a hospital. You know what? That is the first time anyone has ever tried to kill themselves, and it is not a good sign. But that is a sign of manipulation. Now, I'm a pretty chill person until you threaten your life. It takes a lot to offend me. To make it worse, he still kept my address, and that is not respecting my boundaries. He decides to send me a card made from Moonpig, trying to apologize to me and trying to get sexual with me. And to be honest, I find that really creepy, and that is the first time I had ever had that happen to me. Hopefully the last. With this new relationship, there are a lot of concerns, because it is online relationship and we met on Instagram. All I will say is if you haven't figured it out already, yes, it is a girl this time. But to be honest with you, and I will protect her, this is the relationship I want to settle with. Hopefully marriage, becoming a Mrs. Smythe, if she chooses that, and I definitely say she is not a threat. No, this is not fake. No, I am not being used. And no, this is not catfishing. There is definitely love there. We both updated our usernames to where it shows both our names on display, and I can tell you that none of my partners previously have ever done that. I have yet to hear her voice. She's heard mine. I have yet to have a phone call with her, video chats with her. I have yet to have a date with her. She seems 100% committed. We are alike, yet so opposite. We are, even though it's only a month old, very much in love. Now, because of her Instagram being hacked and deleted, I too have decided to log out and delete the app. You gotta take both of us, not just the one, because we only have each other. And if it wasn't for Twitch and Discord, I would lose her completely, which is why I'm fighting hard for her, because this is the relationship I want. And yeah, I still have a lot to go to say. Whilst I've had all of my adventures, new ones will rise. I'm going to use this accommodation to get better, recovering from my 7-month period in hospital. I will replace all my certificates and diplomas, save up my money legally. I will also put my diplomas at use on my little corner of the internet. With the deletion happening, I purposely am trying to minimize my social media. I did freak out a little bit on Facebook because I suddenly saw all the celebrities who I did make Arby's come on Facebook and displaying their verified accounts. I was like, oh no, I hope I'm not being targeted on aggression again. I am not interested in any of them. Anyway, now with everything I have shared, I hope y'all can understand what kind of person I am, why I am so damaged, recovering from my own traumas. And you can start to understand why I need this withdrawal, why I need it legalized to be free completely from my rubbish parents. And to show furthermore from me, caring, you too, if you need to withdraw from your family, you can use the Smythe surname, and I too will become your new family, labeled either mother or sister, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now I have to work hard to finally have these handcuffs off. And I'm going to describe my stepfather's name and earning my way to my freedom.